Hi students, welcome to this video, and I'm very happy to see you all again through this video session. And in this video we are going to see a beautiful poem, and it is from unit 1. I'm sure this video is going to open our eyes as you and I are going to learn a valuable moral from this poem, and that is the castle. Dear students, do you know the word castle has two different pronunciations? In British accent it is castle, whereas in American accent it is castle. So let us go with the first one, castle. Do you know the meaning of the word castle? Of course, it is a large building which is being architecturally built against attack with thick walls, battlements, towers, gates, and etc. Okay, what was actually the castle used for? In the medieval period, the castles were almost used in war in order to protect the kingdom, so as to protect the king who had been in the castle. That's what the title, the castle, written by Edwin Muir. Before we discuss the poem, firstly, let us see the poet. This is Edwin Muir. He was born on 15 May in 1887. He was a famous Scottish poet and a novelist and a very good translator. He is also remembered for his vivid poetry, which was written in plain language with few stylistic preoccupations. And his themes include loss and betrayal, life and death. Latitudes. First poem, Chorus of the Newly Dead, seem to be some of his famous works in English. And in this poem, he has also discussed few qualities like strength, greed, disloyalty, and regret. This poem by Edwin Muir talks about how a mighty castle was betrayed by its one of inhabitants. In simple words, we can say how greed led to destruction. That's what the theme of the poem. Greediness is so destructive and it destroys everything. Okay, this presentation will give you the gist of the poem, stanza-wise explanation, vocabulary, and figures of speech used in this poem. This is what the poem, the castle. This poem has 6 stanzas with 5 lines respectively. The first 3 stanzas talk about the strength of the castle. The remaining stanzas talk about its fall down. And in this poem, the poet has used different kinds of figures of speech. One of the figures of speech is allegory. Do you know what is allegory? Allegory is used to interpret or reveal the hidden information or idea of a poem or a story. So this poem has also a hidden story. If you keep watch it till the end carefully, you also will come to know the hidden story of this poem. And here I would like to give you a brief summary of this poem. This poem talks about an unexpected battle. Battle in the sense war. So the battle is so different in this poem because no weapons, no fight, no death, nothing. But still the enemies won the battle. How? So what happened? That's what we are going to learn from this poem. Okay, let us read all the poetic lines. After reading it, we will have line by line explanation. The castle. All through that summer, at ease we lay, and daily from the turret wall we watched the mowers in the hay, and the enemy half a mile away. They seemed no threat to us at all. For what, we thought, had we to fear? With our arms and provender, load on load, our towering battlements, tier on tier, and friendly allies drawing near on every leafy summer road. Our gates were strong, our walls were thick, so smooth and high, no man could win a foothold there, no clever trick could take us dead or quick, only a bird could have got in. What could they offer us for bait? Our captain was brave, and we were true. There was a little private gate, a little wicked gate. The vision water led them through. Oh, then our maze of tunneled stone grew thin and treacherous as air. The cause was lost without a groan. The famous citadel overthrown, and all its secret galleries bare. How can this shameful tale be told? I will maintain until my death. We could do nothing being sold. Our only enemy was gold, and we had no arms to fight it with. Let us see line by line explanation. This poem Castle is also called a narrative poem because one of the soldiers is going to narrate that incident happened to them. So the whole poem is in the point of view of the soldier. All through that summer, at ease we lay, and daily from the turret wall. Turret wall in the sense a small tower on top of the castle. Look at the picture. This is what turret wall. The soldier used to stand on it and watching their enemies. All through the summer, the soldier had been in the castle. They were stress free and they were relaxed. Generally, soldiers have to be ready to fight in the battle at any time. But here, the soldiers were stress free, they were relaxed. Do you know why? We watched the mowers in the hay and the enemy half a mile away. There seemed no threat to us at all. Mowers. People who trim grass and level the lawns. They call mowers. And the machine which is also used to cut the grass in order to level the lawns is also called mowers. So you can take either the man or the machine for the meaning of the word mower. From the turret wall, the soldiers were watching the mowers doing the work in the field. Not only that, they could also watch their enemies who were just half a mile away from their castle. Just 800 meters away from the castle. Despite their presence nearby the castles, they seemed no threat to us at all. The soldiers saying that they seemed no threat to us at all. They don't get afraid on their enemies, though they are just half a mile away from their castle. For what we thought had we to fear? With arms and provender, load on load. The soldier is asking the question, for what? We have to get afraid on their enemies. Because with arms and provender, load on load. Arms in the sense weapons. Provender in the sense food. So they have everything in enough manner. They had plenty of weapons to protect them and a large quantity of ration in stock to take care of the well-being of the soldiers inside the castle. So they don't want to get afraid on their enemies. They have everything. Because the two most important things Food and weapons are there in the castle. Our towering battlements, tier on tier, and friendly allies drawing near, on every leafy summer road. Towering battlements, tall towers with opening to shoot enemies. Of course, the soldiers stood one above the other and the towering, watching to shoot the enemy at sight. Not only that, they got support from their friendly allies. Friendly allies in the sense armed forces. So the neighborhood soldiers also joined with the soldiers in the castle. So they have everything. They are in safe. They have full safety. And they are ready to protect their castle as they had everything. Food, weapons, and support from neighborhood. Our gates were strong. Our walls were thick. So smooth and high. No man could win. Not only food and weapons. The gates in the castle were very strong and the walls in the castle were very thick. It was smooth and high. No man could win the brave soldiers. No enemies could defeat the castle because they had everything. They are in safe. They are in full protection. They have weapons and full army forces. So they are ready to attack anytime to the enemy of them. A foothold there, no clever trick could take us dead or quick. Only a bird could have gotten. Foothold. Advantageous position. Of course, they are already in advantageous position. No clever trick. Even by a trick, no man could win them. Or any other enemy could defeat the castle. And no other person could take them while they are alive or dead. But only a bird. Do you know why? Because birds and animals are harmless. They are free to go anywhere. Their enemies are not birds but humans. So no clever trick of any other enemies could take them while alive or dead from the castle. Because they have plenty of food, weapons, soldiers, armed forces, and the gates and walls of the castle were very strong and thick. So no clever trick of human will work out to defeat the castle and the brave soldiers in the castle. What could they offer us for bait? Bait here means bribe. Bribe in the sense something is given to someone in order to do illegal activities. So the soldiers is asking, what could they offer us for bait? What kind of bribe they could give us to defeat us, to win our honesty? Nothing they could give, because our captain was brave and we were true. They had a brave captain. They had that captain who was very honest, and they were also very true under him. So nothing could work out in front of them if their enemy tried to do something against the brave soldiers. Despite food, arms, armed forces, walls and gates, despite all strong things, there was a little private gate, a little wicked gate. The wizard warder let them through. Wicked in the sense evil. Usually human can be evil, but here the gate is considered as evil. So it's an indirect comparison. This line, a little wicked gate, is a metaphor. Wicked gate in the sense small gate. So there was a small private gate which was guarded by old warder, God. Wizard in the sense old man. So old God guarded the little gate. Through the little gate, that old man let the enemies enter the castle. Oh, then a maze of tunneled stone. Maze in the sense confusing path is built in all the castles in order to confuse the enemies who are about to enter the castle. But here it grew thin and treacherous as air, because the old guard who guarded that little gate led the enemies to enter the castle easily by getting bribe them from them. So, so that maze become nothing. It's become worthless as air. So that's what the poet says. Oh, then a maze of tunneled stone. So the maze, the trick path, is considered so strong as stone. So it is a metaphor. Grew thin and treacherous as air. Simile is nothing but it's also a comparison which is done directly by using us and like, the words us and like. So we could find us here. So this line grew thin and treacherous as air is simile. The cause was lost without a groan. Groan in the sense cry, lamenting. Of course, the soldiers lamenting because the famous citadel. Citadel in the sense fort, castle, and Wolverton in the sense defeated. The famous mighty citadel was defeated, and all its secret galleries bare. As the old god let all the enemies through the castle, through the little gate to enter the castle, they took away all the wealth of the castle. So the galleries of the castle become empty, and the citadel was defeated by the enemies easily. So the soldier was lamenting. How can this shameful tale be told? Of course, really it is a shameful story for them, for being sold and for being defeated by the enemy who gave bribe to the old man and entered the castle through the little gate in order to take away all the wealth of the castles. And the soldiers had to know way, but he had to maintain it till his death. So it's an interrogation. How can this shameful tale be told? This is called interrogation or rhetorical question. See, usually a question is asked to get answer from someone, but here this question is not asked to get answer, but in order to express our feelings. That is called rhetorical question or interrogation. It's one of the figures of speech used in the poetic device by the poets. So here it is, interrogation. That soldiers is lamenting for being sold and being betrayed by that old god who got bribe from their enemy. We could do nothing being sold. Our only enemy was gold, and we had no arms to fight it with. Of course, the soldiers could do nothing for being sold because their enemy was none other than gold, and we had no arms to fight it with. Of course, it was not human to fight against him, but it was an object, the gold. They couldn't fight against this object. Despite they were defeated, they were overthrown by the enemies, and our only enemies was gold. Here, the object gold is personified as human. So this is personification. And of course, the citadel, the mighty castle, finally was defeated by the enemies easily. And this picture is for ERC. If you look at this picture, you can get an idea of the poem completely. Then you can write ERC with ourselves by your own self. Dear students, it's time to learn the moral of this poem. So what made the soldiers to lose their battle? There was no fight. no weapons, no death, nothing. But still, the brave soldiers lost their battle. They failed to protect their castle. They failed to protect the wealth of the castle. They lost everything, and really it's a shameful story for them. They will not forget until their death. So, how can we compare this poem with our life? The castle is our life, and the greedy man is compared to evil, sin in our lives. So, what is sin? Whatsoever we do against God is sin. For example, theft, falsity, deception, disobedience, hatred. There are so many. If you have all those in your hearts, if you give place to all this in your life, so definitely you are going to lose everything. Stay with God. Don't leave one behind the world, and you will receive the eternity. Stay blessed. Believe in yourselves. Be honest. Thank you for watching this video.